The session on Google Classroom. Google Classroom basically is a teaching learning tool which is available in the Google Suite. So today we are going to discuss on the facilities that are available in the Google Classroom and how as a teacher how we can be able to use these facilities to teach the students. And parallelly we will also look at how students can use these tools for learning. So there are basically you can use Google Classroom on mobile phone as well as on the desktop, PCs, laptop, and even on the tabs. If you are using tab and mobile phone, cell phone, then you have to download the Google Classroom app. So for that you have to go to the Play Stores, and in Play Store you have to just search the Google Classroom. So when you uh, search the Google Classroom, you will get a icon something like this, and this is the icon representing the Google Class app. You have to download that app on your either tab or cell phone, and then after download you can start using it. But if you are using a desktop PC or laptop, then you need not download any software. You can directly use the web browser for logging into Google Classroom. So in the you select any web browser. I am using the Google Chrome. You can select any web browser, and then you have to type Google Classroom. Sorry, you have to type classroom .google.com. So you have to type here classroom.google.com. So as soon as you type classroom.google.com, you will get the option to log in. So you will have different email addresses, so you can select through which email address you want to log in. So I will log in through my personal email address. So once I log in, the Google Classroom will appear on my desktop. Basically here I have created some classes. If you are first time user, then on the screen you will have nothing. So this screen will be totally plain. So here I have actually created some 3 classes. So if you are using for the first time, then this screen will nothing will appear on this screen. So here I will show you certain things. On this screen on the left side there are 3 lines. So just click on those 3 lines. Just click over here. Then here it will show some menu options. So here basically the first option shows about what are the classes that you have currently that you have handled and all. Then there is a calendar option also. Then if anything any preference to be done, that is anything to be done, then that list will be showing over here, can be seen over here. Then these are the classes that you are currently handling. If you are first time, if you are using, then nothing will be visible over here. Then if at the end of the classes, that means when semester ends and you no more want to use any class, then you can select the archive classes. So the archive classes, basically you can't delete any classroom, but you can put them in the archive. Archive means once you have archived it, you can't do any activity related to that class, and even students can't see those classes, means they can't log into those classes and they can't do any activity in those class. Then lastly you have a setting. I will just show you few of the settings that you can possibly. Basically there are certain default settings. I prefer not to alter these default settings, but in case if you need, you can do any changes to these settings. So I have come to the in the settings, the last option, that is setting, I have clicked on. So here basically I have already set my profile picture, that is this is the Google profile picture. So if you want to retain, you can retain it as it is. If you want to change, you can change this profile picture. If you change this profile picture, then your Google profile picture also is going to change. Then there are certain security issues. These are all related to your Google account. We will directly come to the Google Classroom related settings. So here we have first set of settings, notification. That means if you want to receive notification related to Google Classroom, then keep this option as it is. It is already enabled. Don't do any alteration to these settings. If you don't want to receive any email communication of any email notification basically means, suppose for example you have given assignment to the students and If the student submit the assignment, then you will receive a notification. If student do a comment in the class, then in the Google Classroom, then you will receive a notification. So basically these notifications are sent to your email address. So if you don't want to receive any notification, then you can disable it. So if you like again comments related to comment also, that means comment means whenever in the Google Classroom there are many options to do comment on anything that you have posted. So whether you want to have a comment on your post, whether you want to see any comment, that means suppose students want to comment on your post, okay, whether you want to allow the students to do comment, so this is already activated. If you don't want to allow, then you can disable it. Then comment that mention you, okay, so this is activated, this is also active. Then private comments on the work, suppose a student want to privately send you a comment, then whether you want to allow that private comment on your whatever the class that you are handling, whether you want to allow or not. So that option is related to the private comment by the students. Then related to classes that you teach, there are certain settings. The last submission of the student, whether you want to have a last date for any submission. Generally we do this practice, we will not give a very flexible date, we will give a cutoff date for any kind of submission. It may be assignment, it may be a, internal assessment, whatever it is. So we will generally give the last date. So whether you want to have that last date for submission, it is already active. So if you want to continue, don't do it. Otherwise, if you don't want to continue, you can disable it. Then we have resubmission of the work. Suppose a student already submitted a work, and if the student want to resubmit it, want to do some changes and resubmit, whether you want to allow it or not. So this is already enabled. All the settings are already enabled. Then invitation to co-teachers to the classes. So generally Google Classroom allows a co-teacher. Co-teacher means a subject can be taught or it can be handled by multiple teachers. So in such a situation, you can invite a co-teacher. So that option is also enabled over here. Then scheduled post published or failed. So if any posts are published or failed, whether you want scheduled post published or failed, so this option is also enabled over here. So other than that, we have class wise notifications also. Okay, so whether you want to have the class wise notifications, you can even set for a specific class. This is a general setting, and whether you want to have these for particular classes or class wise setting. So these are the overall settings that we have. So now we will move on to how to create the class. We will come back to the Google classes. So I have gone back to the Google classes. So here, first thing what you need to do, since I have already have 3 classes, if you don't have any of these classes, then first thing what you need to do is you have to create the class. So here in the right side corner we have a plus symbol. So just click on the plus symbol. Suppose for example, suppose you are a teacher, then you have to create the class. So student need to join the class. Okay, as a teacher we have to create the class, and if a student is there and you want the student to join class, then student has to select the join class option. I will show there are basically 2 options for the students to join the classes. I will show you those options later. But first let us learn how to create a class and how to invite the students, how to make the students to join into the class, and how to give the students different activities. So I will create one class. So when we click on create a class, it will show you certain instruction. So these instructions are certain mandatory instructions. So you have to read all these instructions before creating the class. So once you read all these instructions, you have to click that you have read the instruction and then press the continue button. So as soon as I press that, I got an option, I got a menu to create the class. So here I have to first give the title to the class. So what I will do, I will I will give the title as teaching and learning through Google Classroom. Next, if there is any section, for example, if you are handling a class, if you are handling a subject in any college, and there are sections in that class. For example, if you are handling a BSc class, and there are different sections, BSc section 1, section 2, section 3, something like that, then you can give the section number or section name here. So this only the first one is required, that is mandatory field, and rest of the fields are not mandatory. Okay, so here it is asking subject. Since I have given the subject in the class name itself, I need not give any subject over here. I will leave that as empty. And similarly, if you have any classroom in the college where you are going to teach this subject, then you can mention the classroom over here. So once all these fields are filled, or whatever the information you want to provide over here, if you have provided, then you have to click on create. So when I click on the create, my this teaching and learning through Google Classroom class will be created. So this will become one more additional class. Suppose you are handling for a semester, you are handling 2 to 3 classes. For example, for BSc you are teaching one subject X, for BCom you are teaching subject Y, and for BA you are teaching subject Z, something like that. In such a situation, for every class you have to create separate classroom. You cannot mix up all these classes in a single classroom. So you have to separately create, because you are teaching different subjects to different classes, you have to create different classrooms. If you are teaching single subject to different classes, then you have the option to create one classroom, and you can add all the students to in that, but managing again students will be your responsibility. Now I have created the classes. I have created a class. Now I want to add the students. As I told you, basically students can be added in two ways. One is you go to people, then in this you can add the students, both students as well as teachers. Suppose for example there is a co-teacher with you, there is one more teacher with you who handle this subject or who handle this paper, and you want to add that teacher also in the Google Classroom, because he or she is also involved in the teaching learning activity, and you want to involve that teacher as a part of Google Classroom, then you can add that teacher over here. So I will add one teacher, my one teacher, like some name I will add. But when we want to add, basically we have to have their email address. Basically it searches for the email address, and as soon as I add that teacher, the invitation goes to the teacher. So here what I will do, I will add one of my friend. Okay, I will add one of my friend, Dr. Hemali Shah, as my co-teacher. So I will send an invitation to her, and she will be the co-teacher who will be handling this subject. Then I can add the students over here. So for that, as I told you, there are two ways. One way is to add through email addresses. So I should have a list of students who are my students for this particular class. So these student names should be separated by comma. That means email addresses. So suppose you have 20 students in this class, you have to have the email address of all 20 students. If you want to add through this way, you should have all email addresses, and you have to simply type the email address separated by comma, or you can copy paste, but remember that these email addresses must be separated by comma. If you don't know, in case if you don't know the email address of the students, we have one more option. So what is that one more option? I will show you the another option that we can have to add the students. So if you don't know their email address, then you come over to the stream, and suppose for example you are in the class itself and students are sitting in front of you, then what you need to do is you should ask the students to open the Google Classroom either through in the mobile, or if they have laptop or desktop, wherever, if they are in the lab and all, then you can ask them to log in into the Google Classroom, and then you can see here there is a class code. You can just click on this, it will enlarge, and you can display this class code over the LCD projector, and you can ask the students to use this class code in the join. Okay, in the join option, join the class. I will show you later while joining the class. So for the time being, I will copy paste this class code, and when I am going to join this class, I will show you how to use this class code for joining the class. Okay, so this class code is useful. Even you can make still more larger to appear on the screen. See it and type in their class while joining the class. So both the options to join the class. I don't have any students as of now joining this class, but I will show you without the student also I can do all the activity, and later also I can add the students. There is no problem at all. So now I will show you how to do different activities. So to do any activity, we have to click on classwork. So here, as soon as you click on the classwork, you will get an option to create any activity. So what are the different activities that you can create in the Google Classroom? Let us look at it. So using the Google Classroom, you can give the assignments to the students. You can conduct the quiz. Quiz is basically a kind of examination. Also, you can conduct over here something like an internal assessment exam test. Then you can ask the question also. Question basically difference between the quiz and question. In the quiz, you can give multiple questions, whereas in the question, you can ask only one question. Then you can give certain material, something like a notes or any video lectures or any audio material, or any material you want to give, you can give over the option of giving the material. And suppose, for example, you have already created some quiz or some questions and all for the previous classes which you have taught in the last year, and you want to reuse same material over here, then we have this option, that is reuse post. So here again, the effort to create the same material will be reduced. You can simply click on the reuse post. So I will show you this option also later. We will go one by one. So let us see how we can provide the assignment. So it is very simple. Creation of assignment is very simple. As soon as you click on the assignment, you will get this screen. So every assignment must be given a title. For example, I will give a title, assignment on chapter 1. Okay, so I have typed the title, and then I can give the instruction, like some instruction, whatever instruction you would like to give. You can give something like or write the assignment on your own, draft the assignment on your own. Don't use copy paste, don't don't copy from the other, something like whatever the instruction you want to give, you can give over here. And then you can add basically assignment. You need to add a file assignment in the file form of the file. So for that reason, you have to in advance create a assignment and keep the assignment ready. So you can use the PDF, you can use Word document, Excel sheet, whatever kind of file you want to use, you can upload. There is nothing, no limit of kind of file that you use. You can use image file, whatever the kind of assignment file you want to create and use, you can create, keep it ready, and here you can upload. So not only file, you can even give the link to the Google Drive files. You can even give the link to the web pages. You can use the YouTube videos. So what I will do, I will just upload one file as the assignment. So I have clicked on the file. So as soon as you click on the file, you will get this screen. So this screen, in all kind of activities, we can upload file, we can upload the files. So as soon as you click on that, this kind of screen will appear. So here simply if you have assignment, you can simply drag and drop. So for example, I have one Panasonic webinar.doc, so I will drag and drop. So this file is dropped over here. Then I want to add one more. So I will just go to add more files. I will click on add more files. So as soon as I click on add more files, so you can either drag and drop again, you can drag and drop, or you can through browsing, you can go to web browser and you can select the file, whichever folder it is. For example, myself.ppt is there. This also I have selected. So I have given two assignments, then I have to click upload. If I don't click upload, then these assignments won't get uploaded into the assignment and will not be able to show these assignments. So assignments, we expect that certain questions are there in these assignments. So once you have created, then you can perform the setting for these assignments. So the setting, what you need to do is the whether you want these assignments for this particular class, or you can even change the class also, or whether you want to give the assignment to selected number of students, or you want to give it to all the students. So if I have added these students, then all the students will appear over here, but I have not yet added the students, then nothing is visible, so it will be assigned to all the students. So you can assign the points, that is marks, to the assignment. Then you can provide the due date also. Generally we will provide some due dates for the assignment, like for example 31st of the May I have provided. Even you can provide the time also for this assignment. Then if you want to give any topic, as such we have not given any topic, we have not yet created any topic. You can create a topic for the assignment and you can give the topic to the assignment. So once all these options are done, then you can outrightly give the assignment, or you can schedule the assignment. For example, I want to give this assignment tomorrow at 12 noon, then I can schedule the assignment, or simply I can save and keep it for the future use, or even I can discard this assignment. So what I will do, I will outrightly give this assignment to the students. So I have sent, I have clicked on the assign button. So I have created one assignment. Now since I have already assigned it, so if I add the students will be able to see this assignment in their class. Next option I will go to, or quiz assignment, or even we can conduct MCQ kind of internal assessment test using this. So now I will again I will give you I have to give a title to this. I'll just give as a assessment test. So that is the title I have given. Again here, if you want to give any instruction, you can give. So I don't want to give any instruction. If you want to give instruction as a file and all, you can upload that also, or you can, even if your quiz is in a file form, if your questionnaires are in the file form, you can upload that. So I want to give an MCQ kind of quiz, so then I will create a quiz over here. So as soon as I click on the quiz, it will open the Google Forms. I hope you are aware of Google Forms. If you are not aware of Google Forms, then you just see certain material on Google Forms and learn over there. Here I will, even though if you are not aware also, I will show you how to create a quiz using the Google form. It's very simple. I will use the simple steps to create the quiz using Google Forms. So as soon as you click on this, the Google Forms will be opened. Here basically we are going to create the multi-choice questions, MCQ type of questions. Even you use MCQ or multi-selection kind of questions. So different types of questions you can form over here. So here, as when it is opened, it will automatically take this as a kind of multi-choice question, and even we have option over here to assign the marks, as well as even we can even give the even we can give the correct answer over here, and we can give the due date also. So since we are giving the correct answer, the students can submit these he or she can solve these questions, and can submit these questions, and only after the due date the student will be able to know what are the answers, actual answers. And even we have a option to edit the questions. If the student sometime want to edit the question, the student have the option to edit the question. So I have come across certain problem over here. My system is going to fresh the screen so that I can be able to edit the questions. I think we can change this blank, which I will give again title as same, internal assessment test. Internal assessment test 1. So this is the title I have given, and then I will move on to